let's resume then. Tian, it's Tian or Tian?
Tian.
Tian, Tian, Tian. When I was
With a T, with a T. Yeah.
Tian,
Yeah.
Tian,
Yeah.
T. So with the T as Tian.
Yes.
Okay. When I started studying more deeply Moreno, Dr. Moreno, J.L. Moreno, I realized that at the beginning, when he published the first time, it was the sociometry in 37. He mentioned it was the first technique he mentioned. It was the self-presentation. And I like that, this way of coming and telling to someone who I am, how I present myself. And I'm going to ask you this. What about you presenting yourself? Who are you if you had to present yourself?
I would present myself as a, a daughter, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a psychodramatist, a writer, a dancer, a singer, things like that. And now I edit films on iMovie. So I'm that too. I think I would present myself as also a dog.
A dog?
Yeah. Yes.
Uh-huh.
A cute, furry, friendly dog, a loyal dog.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's surprising.
I didn't expect it. And I don't always present myself as a dog. A doctor, a psychologist, also a clinical psychologist. Let's get it back on track. A clinical psychologist and psychodrama, psychodrama. There's that is a burning center of all of our lives. So.
Uh-huh. Well, precisely, psychodrama. When was the first time? We know we are always curious about the first time. The second time is not that interesting as the first time. How was your first time? Can you set the scene of the first time the encounter with psychodrama happened?
I have two first times.
Two first times.
Just at two scenes. One, my first encounter was through the addictions field. And I'm an adult child and an alcoholic. My father was an alcoholic and my family sort of knew a lot about alcoholism, etc. So when I was 30, I think, 30, 31, 32, I thought, I need to deal with this adult child stuff, although we didn't know about that at that time. But I thought I've got to do something because I was happy. I mean, I was married to the man I wanted to be married to. I had beautiful children. I had everything I wanted, but I knew I was missing some of my parts on the inside. So I signed up for a 5-day experience with a woman called Sharon Wegscheider Cruz, who had trained in experiential therapy with Virginia Satir. So I went off for, I'd never left my children for this long. I must have been older. I must have been about 34, 35 because my kids were a little older. And my husband took over, etc. And I went for, it was 4 days sort of thing. And it completely changed my life. I didn't know it was psychodrama. We called it experiential therapy. 5 days in a retreat center, just doing wild psychodrama the whole time, doing skits, dancing. I mean, in those days in the addictions field, it was part kind of a Catholic retreat, part disco party, part psychodrama. It was really, we were experimenting and it was a very healing 5 days. And I came out of that thinking, I need this for the rest of my life. This was incredible. And I want to keep doing it. So I was getting a master's, and I changed from educational psychology to psychology, straight psychology. And I learned from Sharon Wegscheider about experiential I trained with her. And I trained with her for some years. So that first time changed my life and got it on a track of recovery. What we call recovery in the, from, in my case, adult child types issues. And then my husband, I got something in the mail. I was, everybody gets mail. To this day, I don't know how they got my address. And it said psychodrama. I didn't really notice it, but my husband picked it up and said, this says psycho and drama. This is what you do. This, because I was used to do creative dramatics. I used to blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And my children were little. I was busy. I was working. So I ignored it. And months later, because I wasn't so good at dealing with the mail, it worked its way back up to the top of the stack. And he said, this is psycho and drama. That's everything you like to do. And it's tomorrow. And it's in New York. So this was a Roosevelt Hotel, one of those wonderful conferences. And both of my children had play dates, so I had no reason not to go. So I went. And I walked in, and Adam Blattner was the first person welcoming me. And I went to, I think the first thing I went to was Bob Soroka's Somatodramas. I thought, what is that? So I went, and it was the funniest therapy I'd ever. He was so funny. It was so funny. People were talking to their stiff necks and their sore bums and and I just thought, where am I? And then we were talking about, and then I talked about an operation I'd had that I never talked about. I'd had it, just 6 months before this. And it was one of those moments where I thought, oh, I won't join in. Nobody will be interested in this. And then suddenly there were people who chose me and were interested. And then suddenly, who could play your father? Well, I chose this woman to play my father because you can in psychodrama. And suddenly in the middle of the psychodrama, I remember in my eyes, I knew she was wearing pearls and she was a woman, but I thought my father was talking to me. And, somebody played parts of my body. So it was ludicrous and wild and profound. And I thought, this is everything I still like to do. They're doing it better.